Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Saber Brick Studios. My name is Jeremy. I hope you guys are all having a great day. If this is your first time here, guys, this is the Imperial Outpost Moc on a remote frozen moon in the Outer Rim. It's based off of Season 1 of the Clone Wars episode number 15 entitled The Trespass. And I'm basically converting a clone base into a newer Imperial base on that same kind of moon. It's not exactly from it. I'm just kind of basing it off of that facility that was built there. And if you guys have not seen episode 1 and 2, please go check them out with the tags above. And of course, consider subscribing for more videos and stop motion animations coming soon. But without further ado, guys, let's jump into episode number 4. So in this segment, guys, we're going to be finishing up the front section of this terrain here. We're also going to be kind of raising the entire height of both of these sides of this hangar for this. I'm also going to start working on some more of the interior of that because I still am waiting a lot of the parts that are coming in for the frozen lake and trench areas. My plan is to have that section over here, but of course it's going to be in the future episodes, so make sure you guys stay tuned for more. But I'm going to get to work on this section of the mock, and I'll check back in with you guys once I have some more progress. So I have made quite a bit of progress here. The most notable section I worked on so far is this mountain side here. I'm starting to get this definitely to the height of where I want it. As you can tell, I've started to integrate some rock work across this entire mountain base here. I think that's going to be a very key feature here. You can tell this tall hangar door that is about 12 bricks tall roughly is kind of hidden by that on the side there. Of course, this entire base is going to be able to be covered in that snow. So I definitely think building this up with a wide variety of bricks and slopes and other kind of icicle details and stuff like that, and some other big slopes and rock panel parts like that is going to be really important to kind of break up the mountainside. I also started to use these kind of larger rock molded pieces. I really like that piece. It's a really great use. I have a few more that I'm going to be using on the other side, which is going to be considerably larger and kind of more gradually building up than this one, which is kind of almost a straight shot once it gets to like 2 or 3 bricks tall. But I'm definitely very pleased with how this section of the mock looks. Definitely has a lot of detail. I definitely want to continue working on stuff like that in the future parts of this base. Also started to expand the terrain over here in front of this. This is definitely something I'm working on to try to get this to be flattened out, to kind of curve up then again to the trench, which is going to be up to here. As you guys can tell, this area is kind of a mess because I'm working on all of this rock work right now currently. Because building these larger structures is going to encourage me to kind of continue working on a lot of these smaller details, which make this mock look so much better. One problem I do have is that I've actually raised up the terrain in these sections already in previous videos. I'm going to have to basically tear up this entire chunk right here and this entire chunk because it is a brick plus high. I'm going to be changing that to be basically all flat because I need those bricks and parts to kind of rebuild a trench line that's going to come up to this point. So there's definitely a lot of work cut out for me the rest of this episode, so let's dive into the next update. Alright, so I didn't exactly stick to my original plan of like doing things exactly in order. I've kind of been bouncing around a lot. I have started the deconstruction of these kind of bigger slope areas here. I completely flattened this area. Now I'm kind of just filling that in with plate and kind of blending it with the mountainside a little bit better. Also started to add a lot of other icicles and expanded the actual height of the structure quite significantly because I do want it to be able to completely uncover and enclose these hangar door gates. You guys can tell the height there is pretty significant. I'm going to be talking more about the hangar section in a minute here. I still do have to tear up a large chunk of this kind of filler brick in here that I raised up a little bit too much in front of the hangar, so I'm going to have to back up that area for the trench, which probably will be pushed on to next episode number 5, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But the next section that I started working on, guys, was actually the second side of the actual physical base. I apologize for the mess right here. You can barely even see the surface, but this is the hangar section of it. It's going to be able to fit probably like several of these speeders here, and possibly an Imperial Marauder or those Republic speeders. I'm still kind of deciding exactly what's going to go in there. But this section is going to be an actual base portion. I decided to kind of make it more of a flat structure than a kind of like jutted out structure. Because I don't really think I have enough pieces to build up the mountainside there, but I'm also wanting to build some sort of frozen waterfall here in the entrance over here. So we're gonna have the hangar door here, and then over here there will be kind of a frozen like waterfall coming down, and then the lake and river will start here and kind of build out to the rest of the mock. I think that's gonna look really cool. It's gonna be kind of like a secret entrance to the side of that. Now what's going to go inside this, I'm not exactly 100% sure yet. I do want to build some sort of like barrack or weapons armory. But I also want to have something unique to this planet, maybe like a mining facility that these Imperials have built here into the side of the mountain. Definitely think it's gonna be something cool I can experiment with. But one thing I really wanted to get into, guys, was talking about my actual plans for the roof and kind of upper sections. So originally when I was deciding to build this mock, I wanted to have a very tall structure that would kind of be modular and all that kind of stuff. I'm not opposed to doing that for parts of it, like that section, but I don't think it's gonna work out. And the reason is because if I did that, the entire hangar would be completely blocked off, and that's not really something I want. So I think what I'm going to do instead is kind of have a slightly covered mountain base across the entire flat of it, so it will look like it's completely covered from the outside. But then on this side, you're able to look into the base and see the edge of the mountain kind of around it. I think that's going to look really cool. It's going to be really aesthetically pleasing. Of course, it probably is going to be tall enough to have a second floor on that side. That is definitely something I'm not opposed to doing. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comment section below. I think having this kind of small covering here and then having the rest of this open is going to be really cool. It's going to give me the ability to see into the mock and actually use the actual spaces that I build, because oftentimes in larger builds you end up covering things and you can't even see it and all that, and I don't really want to put lighting in this mock. So that is a big update change for that. So now I'm going to continue my rock work on that section, kind of get some things finalized out and bring up the height of several of these sections and cover them with some snow. So I'll check back in with you guys once I have some more progress. Checking back in with you guys, I completed the second half of this mountain portion. I'm actually really pleased with how this looks from the exterior. There are a few gaps here I need to fix, kind of in the back sections and all that. I'm really happy with what I did. I used a lot of different slopes and those icicle pieces, which are really great for this. And I created a pretty nice little mountain base there. Just for some scale, guys, here is what a minifigure looks next to that. Definitely a pretty tall structure, very pleased with it. I definitely got to continue working on that smaller section and building up this last little bit over here. And then most of the rock terrain will be done, which is nice. So let's jump into the last portion of the building. So I actually did film a time lapse for these two building sections, and that for some reason did not save on my editing software. But here are the two updated builds here. You can tell I completely finished that mountainside and I completely reintegrated that with the siding there. I think it looks a lot better. It's still definitely a little bit rough. It needs some little more kind of slopes and kind of more cleaner pieces. But I'm definitely really pleased with the progress that I'm making on that side. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. This side I did add a few other pieces. I kind of went all the way around this and made sure it was completely flush with the actual hangar doors, which I'll get to in a second. Then I also finished this last section over here. Now again, this gap here is going to be a frozen waterfall. I cannot wait to build that. That's going to be really, really fun. It's also like a secret entrance, if you want to say. But like I said, guys, the river is kind of going to jut out here and then go into the other mock. I actually moved the table over here. It was a little bit easier to build when all this stuff was here, and I could simply build the rock formations over here. So I'm going to get those hangar doors up and kind of clean this up and show you guys all the progress I've made this episode. So here is what the base looks like with the two hangar doors closed with the mountain sides. I absolutely love how this looks. It's definitely really clean and all that. And I do think the dark gray and the light gray on the kind of spring-loaded chutes there does contrast the mountain enough to make it look different, which was definitely something I needed to figure out for this. And just looking at the outside of the base as a whole, I'm very, very pleased with how this is working. Definitely the best rock work I've ever done on a Lego Star Wars build before. One thing I do want to show you guys though before this week is over is actually the interior. I'm not exactly certain what this inside area is going to look like here. I kind of left some space so I can kind of build part of this as a like frozen section, because it is going to kind of bleed into the base, as you are going to be able to see the inside of some of these mountain bases. Of course, I'm going to clean it up a little bit on the interior, especially on that one. That one is a little messy, but I think having like a kind of built-in base into a mountainside is a really cool concept, and I think blending it in with that area and what I've started to do on this section over here is definitely a really cool concept I'm going to be happy to continue and expand in the future. But overall, guys, I'm very pleased with the amount of work I managed to get done in this upload. Definitely quite a bit of rock work that takes a lot longer than it actually looks, but I think just getting it done, or at least partially done, is really, really important. Like I said, guys, one thing I did change about the layout is that there's actually going to be a like mitigated surface or like kind of roof of this, I'm going to leave a bulk of it open so you can actually see into it and actually use the space. So that's going to be something that's going to be a very big engineering challenge for me. I'm going to be using a lot of Technic pieces and all that kind of stuff to make it super strong and yet modular, because this whole mock is actually modular. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys are new here, if this is your first time watching, please go check out the playlist or my other videos like my stop motion animations. Definitely a lot here on Saberbrick Studios, but make sure you guys stay tuned for the next upload, which will be every Friday. So next Friday, stay tuned for another one, and I will see you guys on the next one.